Imagine if every time you needed a ride, Uber gave you a list of 30 drivers' names and numbers and said, hey, you call them all and figure out which one's willing to pick you up. Or maybe none at all. That's what parents face when they use Care.com, Sitter City, or all the other apps out there. It's not what we do. We find them a match, and people are loving it. Welcome, everyone. You made it. Despite the rain. Yes, I did too. My name's Diane Moca. I'm the founder and CEO of MomSub. We are a marketplace that connects parents and child care providers to find a family's one ideal nanny match and then manage their weekly child care payments and schedule changes. And I want to know who here is a working mom like me. Working mom, all right. Wait, one more question.
Come on, working moms.
All right, working mom. Who was raised by a working mom? Who was, oh, a lot more hands there. Okay, like my two kids were. Well, you probably know that there are times that working moms have stress, guilt, and self-criticism. And that's what I went through. So, okay. When I became a working mom, and a lot of my stress was because I couldn't find the right childcare. I went through 12 different childcare providers during the first 4 years of being a working mom. I was a television reporter, so thrilled I could work 2 days a week as a freelance reporter, be with my kids the other 5 days, but I just couldn't find the right person to be with those kids during that part-time schedule. And that's the same thing that happened to Sarah. She just needed care for her 2 kids after school a couple hours a day. She had to contact 64 nannies to find one that would come for the schedule that she needed in her home and pick up her kids. And then guess what? A couple months later, that nanny quit. She came to us, and that's why we created MomSub. So we could connect parents like Sarah to a childcare provider who's available when and where they need them at a rate they can afford, right? That's important. And what do? It's simple. They submit their needs on the MomSub app. They get to watch a video of their nanny match, and then boom, they book them, just like Sarah booked Jackie. And what else are we doing? Well, we're solving that problem of more demand than supply by inviting moms, grandmas, and people who helped raise younger siblings and cousins to join our platform, in addition to the traditional providers like neighborhood babysitters, professional nannies, students. These are all growing the pie, and we handle all of the checks. We make sure this person is trusted, safe, reliable through background checks. We're even doing the scheduling and the confirmation so the mom doesn't have to deal with that stress, or the dad, of course. So what do the parents do? Well, they easily pay for their childcare each week on the app, and they contact us to coordinate schedule changes. And anyone who has kids knows that just when you think things are going to stay the same, they change, right? So about a third of the time, parents have schedule changes, and we help coordinate those and make sure that their MomSub can accommodate those changes. Sarah told us we took out all of the hassle of finding childcare, and she was able to approve her nanny match based on a video interview alone, because everyone knows Zoom is 25 times more accepted now than ever before. So the idea is the match. All the other childcare apps give you a list. Imagine if every time you needed a ride, Uber gave you a list of 30 drivers' names and numbers and said, hey, you call them all and figure out which one's willing to pick you up. Or maybe none at all. That's what parents face when they use Care.com, Sitter City, or all the other apps out there. It's not what we do. We find them a match, and people are loving it. They're coming to us, and we are converting 58% of the leads that come to us, and our sales are growing 67% month over month this year. Thank you. It's been a long road, but we are thrilled to be serving paying customers because we know when they pay that this is something that they really need. But we're not charging too much because we know that childcare needs to be affordable. So the amount that they pay in fees is actually an hourly service fee. There's a small fee that they pay up front to do the search, and the hourly service fee is actually included in the hourly rate they've already told us they can afford. So it doesn't feel extra like those dreaded subscription fees that Care.com and all the other apps charge just to give you a list and not to give you a match like we do. So who does this help? Well, a lot of parents, but especially working moms who are middle class and need part-time care. These are the ones that come to us on a regular basis saying, please, can you help me? And there are a lot of them. People spend $60 billion a year in the United States alone on childcare. 20 billion of that is spent on part-time care, the kind of care that you don't get generally at a daycare. And there are 7 million parents that need that part-time care. So what else are we going to do? Well, we're working on getting more businesses to connect and partner with us because we have a childcare benefits platform that helps reduce turnover and absenteeism. Why would a business care about turnover and absenteeism as it relates to childcare? Well, because 1.8 million women leave the workforce every year because of childcare challenges. You know, it's tough to balance everything. And so a business offering this as a perk is going to help keep their employees. So we are getting our customers primarily through those Facebook mom groups where the moms are desperately looking for someone out in the community. 20% are coming from referrals because our customers love us and share us, and 10% are even finding us through organic Google search. Our team includes experts in mobile application, sales, marketing, my connections in the media, 15 years as a television reporter at a CBS station. And what are we asking you? We really want to grow our B2B portion of our business so we can reach those working moms in the workplace so they know that their employer really cares about family-friendly policies. And so we want you to connect us to a decision maker at a big company or maybe someone who runs a small business and can offer this as a perk to their employees. We're also launching an equity crowdfunding campaign later this summer and would love your help in spreading the word about that. So anything that you can do to connect to MomSub on any social media, we're on all of them, or even to contact me, Diane, at MomSub.com. That's MomSub like a substitute mom.
Stay up here. You're looking to connect with decision makers, but you already have great traction. So what have you done so far?
So what we've done so far is connect with individual parents. Like I said, we're in those Facebook mom groups. Our brand ambassadors are as well, sharing who we are and what we do. And they come to us, either fill out a form on our website or get our app and submit a profile with their needs. But we are not as adept at reaching those businesses and all the different layers you need to go through. We found it's best to get warm introductions to have the businesses know and trust us before they bring us in and connect us to their employees to give their employees those perks. So we are growing individually, but the best way to keep the individual rate affordable is to bring in businesses and to have the businesses supplement the revenue, because we don't want to have to increase the margins of the rate to be able to continue to have the business grow and thrive and be sustainable. We want corporations and companies who benefit when working moms and dads stay in the workplace to also contribute as well.
Yep. So has anybody had a similar challenge trying to connect to businesses for your revenue model? So how'd you guys connect to businesses? Yeah, they're nodding.
I think it's really kind of like asking for direct relationships that we already exist. And so I found that most business owners are either 1 or 2 degrees separated from my current network. And so coming to events like this where it's easy to find like, hey, I know this person. And I was thinking about maybe 2 or 3 businesses already that are like, all right, I know the CEO and I know that majority of their workforce are predominantly women. And so it'll be great for me to connect those things. And so I think these kind of environments are the best at those.
Yeah, we started out doing a lot of cold outreach and got nowhere with that. Got some meetings after meetings.
Yeah.
Learned about sales cycles. So as a person from the media, I didn't have experience with corporate and all of that. And so I love the idea of warm introductions, and we're definitely having some better luck with that.
Awesome.
What other questions does anyone have? Yes.
Are there like benefits conferences, like conferences for HR people that make decisions?
There are, and I went to the biggest one of the year in the United States. It's called SHRM, Society for Human Resources Management. I didn't even know about that a few years ago, but I found out about it. I went to the conference. I met dozens of people. I followed up with them. I I have a podcast. I invited some to come on the podcast. I had meetings with them. I had more meetings with them. I had more meetings with them. And then they sort of dropped off the calendar. So it has been the biggest challenge, is connecting with those businesses, even when I've met people face to face, even when the women in HR said, this is great, we want to bring this to our organization, but oh, it's not the right time to talk to my boss. And oh, I think we're going to have to wait until this. And so that's why I'm really looking for those decision makers. I'm happy to go to a small organization if I can get directly to the decision maker. Yes.
Do you think part of the reason you're having trouble is a lot of the decision makers are men?
Yes. Yes. So I've recently had people say, you've got to frame this by what they want, and a business owner, they want to either make money or lose less money. And so if you let them know that it costs, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 or more to hire and retrain somebody, they often don't hear from the women that they left their job because of childcare. Women are embarrassed. Women don't want to say that. It may not be the only reason, and they'll say something else. They don't even want to feel that guilt in their mind of thinking like, oh, I left my career because of my kids. Maybe it was really this. And so it's not getting back to the men in the decision-making roles that this is the reason. But we know the statistics. We know that nearly 2 million women are leaving their careers because of it. And it's not just the affordability, it's oftentimes the accessibility. Finding that person that is there when you need them. And if you only need them 2 hours after school, or 2 hours in the morning, or 1 day a week, that's not easy to find. Or you find someone and then 3 months later they quit for a full-time job. We're making sure that we're connecting them to someone that's interested and available in that part-time position, like I found after 4 years.
So how are you modifying your pitch to the businesses that you're meeting to bring in that data that Kayla's bringing up?
So we're specifically telling them that this is about retention, productivity, improving productivity, because parents that know that they've got somebody taking care of the kids are going to be able to focus at work. Or if the kids are running around at home and they're trying to work from home and they've got someone to come in and take care of them during those meetings, that's going to improve their productivity. It's going to obviously reduce absenteeism. There's a lot of restaurants that go through this where they have high absenteeism because the families have childcare challenges if they have to work nights. But a lot of times it's difficult for those families to even afford childcare. They're trying to use a patchwork of family and friends.
So you say obviously absenteeism. Are you spelling that out for them in the pitch? Because to you and me, absenteeism is obvious, but that may not be true for men who always go to work, and if the school calls because the kid is sick,
the mom goes.
And those men have never had to deal with that. I don't know that that's necessarily as obvious to them.
True. So the first sentence of any pitch we send out says, do you want to improve recruitment, retention, right? Telling people during an interview, getting better talent, productivity, and absenteeism. So we spell those 4 things out. I haven't been using statistics as much, so that's kind of the next step. So we want to focus on giving the best service possible to our existing customers. And even though I have a small team of kind of patchwork of consultants, I'm doing a lot of the work myself. So that's another part as well. Yes.
I was just going to say, I used to work at Google, and they had a benefit to reimburse moms or families for care.com, and we couldn't see
that's what I want to find. Are all the companies, so there are many, many companies out there, especially big corporations, that pay for care.com memberships, for their care.com subscriptions every month. And so many of those, I've met those employees. They're like, care.com sucks. We hate it. Doesn't help. I spent 3 months, contacting all these people, and then I ended up with someone who was terrible, and then they left. So we know that their employees are not satisfied, but the decision makers don't necessarily hear about it. And so it's difficult finding who their customers are. And when I do find out who their customers are, they're big corporations that would could, maybe they won't. It's harder to get into them. I said it would take years. It could take years. It could take 1 phone call if I have the right connection. So I want to always turn it around and make it solution oriented. So I would love to meet anyone at any place that has care.com. The American Medical Association, I've heard, headquartered right here in downtown Chicago, offers and pays for care.com. So if anyone knows anyone there, I would love to connect.
One last question, one fun. Yeah, go ahead.
My one thought was, have you thought about treating your customers as referral partners? They're working moms well, you could have like a referral reward for, I don't know, like a credit and services.
That's a great idea. We sent out an email asking, and we got a couple of responses, tried to reach out to those companies, didn't have much luck, but we didn't offer an incentive.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and we have had several people from like the same school or the same this. It's very difficult. I have tried reaching out to schools. Public schools don't normally do business collaborations, especially with a business that's involved in like taking care of children and things like that. So there's a lot of things to navigate. You know, I would love to connect to hospitals, schools, the kind of places where, you know, a lot of women are working and they're working those nights and weekends and non-traditional hours when they really need that help. But those are the hardest places to get into. So any connections you have, we welcome, and I thank you for all your questions and your attention and interest.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much.